If you are someone who does want to get into freelancing, there is a specific roadmap that a lot of the successful freelancers follow in order to have the most success. And there's so many people creating videos on how to make hundreds a day on different side hustles and working from home. And a lot of people think it's easier than it is to just start making money online, start getting freelance clients. But the harsh reality is that it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone that tried it would be doing it, but not everyone that tries it is successful. The ones who are successful are the ones that are able to break it down step by step, and they know where they're at in their journey, they know what milestone they're at, and they know where the next one is, so they know what to work on. So when you're just starting out as a freelancer, the first thing that you need to do is really just start. Start to take action, start to look at what you can offer the marketplace. What sort of jobs are in demand right now, and which ones align best with what you're good at and with your personality type? So one of my favorite things to do is suggest people go to the Profitable Freelancer website, take the completely free quiz to discover what your freelance superpower is. Now this quiz is just going to ask you some basic questions about what you prefer doing, what type of person you are, and then at the end it will give you a report and it will break down what type of jobs are good for you. And a lot of people are finding it very accurate. So if you don't know what skill you want to provide, you don't know what you're really passionate about right now, take that quiz. I think it'll help you just go in the right direction. And from there, so that's where you're at. You're at milestone 1. You're looking at how can I start? How can I gain some knowledge? And then maybe you're taking some affordable online courses, nothing in the thousands of dollars or anything like that, just even 20, 30 bucks can get you some really good knowledge, even some certifications. And then from there, what you need to do is commit. So the first one is to start. The second milestone is to commit. And committing comes at different stages for people. Some people know just from day one that they're committed. They're not going to let any failures really set them back. But other people need to have a reminder that they're on this roadmap to becoming a successful freelancer. And in that second milestone is when you need to commit when things start to get tough. So when you start to reach out to different jobs and you're a brand new freelancer, let's say you have a couple courses under your belt, you're ready to start earning money, but no one's responding to your proposals. No one is hiring you yet. That's when you need to double down and commit even more and start to look at what you're doing wrong, or maybe you have a misconception. So sometimes people will just send out 5 or 6 proposals and then they don't hear back and they just give up on themselves. But that's when you need to commit. You need to figure out that you're not going to hear back from everyone, especially in the beginning. You need to send out dozens of proposals. And then on the other hand, you also need to look at the quality of the proposals that you're sending out and the type of clients and projects that you're reaching out to. So during that phase when you're committing, it's all about making sure you're not getting discouraged with any setback. And remembering that every freelancer, every entrepreneur, whatever you're doing in the business world, everyone starts at the ground floor. Everyone starts with no experience, no reviews, but it's up to you to start to get those reviews, start to get some real projects. And that leads me to the third milestone on this roadmap. The third milestone is getting your first job as a freelancer. This is huge because it doesn't need to be in a skill set that you're going to be committed to forever. It just needs to be something that is related to what you're interested in. Let's say it's digital marketing. Get a job in any digital marketing area just so you can start to get some experience and work on real projects. All of the online courses in the world, all of the certifications, they're not going to help you unless you put it into practice, you land your first project, and you start to figure out what you're good at, what you're not good at, what you like doing, and what you don't like doing. And then from there, you're at the fourth milestone, and that is where you start to find your talents. So now you may have a couple jobs that you're working on or that you've worked on in the past, but you don't know exactly what direction you want to keep going in. That's when you need to really analyze what did you like in the past projects? What have you tried out that you didn't like? And then start to shape where you're going based on that. So you really want to start to find out what you're good at and get more projects that are similar to that and start building up your portfolio. So once you start to see each of these milestones has a specific purpose, it's easier to see the bigger picture of it. But when you're just getting started out, like I was saying, it's so easy to just think you're just going to have success overnight and start to make money and everything's going to be awesome. It could work like that, but a lot of times it doesn't, and you need to understand where you're at in the journey. And when you're in milestone 4, you're trying to figure out what your talents are. You're in the experimental phase of freelancing, of figuring out what's good for you. Double down on that once you start to find out what you like. So for me, this was something on my journey that actually surprised me. I had a misconception that once I start freelancing and doing one thing, I had to stick with that forever. So there was one period where I was creating Shopify websites for clients. And for me, it honestly just wasn't my favorite thing. I was pretty good at it, but it took a lot of time and it didn't turn into a repeat customer all of the time because sometimes they wanted to do their own thing after their website was built. And I didn't want that. I wanted something I can work with clients on recurring. And I started to try out different things like on-site blogging, SEO. And then that's when I stumbled into what I like the most, which is running Google ads and running Google ad campaigns for clients. So if I just did one thing and then I gave up after I was like, okay, Shopify websites, I did pretty good at that, but you know what? It's just not for me. Freelancing isn't for me. I'd never be at where I am now if I didn't keep trying things. And eventually, you're gonna find something that you really are good at, that you enjoy doing, and that doesn't really take too much of your time to the point where it's not like you're learning a brand new skill that you have no knowledge in. It's something that you're inherently good at. That is when you can start having the most success, which brings us to the next milestone. So milestone 5 is about niching down. And the saying, the riches are in the niches, is absolutely true. No one just wants to hire a digital marketer. They want to hire a specialist. They want to hire someone that is going to help them solve the exact problem they want solved. And there are multiple different ways that you can niche down. You can get more specific with the type of tool that you're using. So in my case, I went from just search engine marketing and I went down to Google Ads. I can go one step further and either say Google Search, Google Shopping, YouTube, or display ads. I can get very specific with it. And then on the other hand, I can also niche down for specific industries. Now, I do want to just say a quick word of caution about niching down too far, especially when you're just getting started, and especially if you're niching down for a specific industry. Remember that you do want to be a specialist, but you don't want to cut off all of the potential work. And once you start to look at it like that, where you want to get very specific, but you also want to keep it broad enough to a point where you can get as many clients as you want, that is where you're going to find the sweet spot. And it's different for everyone. And it really depends on what skill set you're offering and then what type of jobs are in demand and how many people, how many clients, how many companies are hiring for those roles. Now, once you've done those steps, you're on the next step in the roadmap. And that's when you really want to go professional. What I mean by that is at this point, you should know exactly what you're good at. You should have reviews under your belt. And that should put you in a place where you're able to go professional. Start charging higher rates. Start to work with higher end clients who want to pay you more for the value that you provide. And then you can take it even more serious. And let's say you do have a job on the side. You can leave that job, go full time as a freelancer. Or let's say you have a really good system worked out where you work part-time at one job and you want to make freelancing your permanent side hustle. Whatever that means for you, where you want to go in life, where you are at in your career, use that to look at where you're at and go professional, go all in on this, because at this point, you're probably going to be able to see that this is a massively valuable thing you can do for your career is to double down on it. A lot of times when people have a couple successes, they kick their feet up. They're like, awesome, I did good. I made $1,000 freelancing last month. That's awesome. But I really encourage you, don't celebrate your wins too much. Use that as momentum to keep going, because then in the future, you're going to look back and be like, wow, I really thought I was so far back then, but now look where I'm at. And that's all about going professional, celebrating every win you have, but also putting your head back down, getting to work and building your freelance business. And then that brings us to the final milestone on the freelancer roadmap to success, and that is expanding. So expanding once again means different things to different people, but there are multiple routes you can go down once you have gone through this entire journey. Once you've gone professional, you have your niche, you have experience, you know what you're doing, you know that you're doing well. It all comes down to time. So once you are fully maximized out on your time, that's when you need to figure out what the next step is. Are you happy with your current income? Do you just keep doing what you're doing? Or do you look at ways to improve, to expand? That may mean hiring an assistant. It could be a virtual assistant to help you either go through client emails, help you check different projects, help you with different tasks you need done. Or that could mean building a team. So maybe you do want to go down the agency route, hire some freelancers under you to help you with the different tasks, and you can build a little agency and see how you like that. But it's all up to you. It really depends what your personality type is. If you just want to work solo all the time and not have to manage a team, or if you love collaboration, you do want to build a team, you want to build an agency, even if it's 100% virtual, the world we live in now, it is very acceptable to have a full digital team. And using services like Zoom and Google Meet and using screen share services, you can stay up to date, work as a team, collaborate, and expand and build a real business. On the other hand, like we were saying, if you do enjoy working for yourself, you have the clients that you work with, you're happy with the income, it's all about just keeping that going, making sure you're working on the best projects for you so you keep your reputation intact. You don't want to try to grow too quick, expand too quick, take on a project you're not really ready for, you're not capable of doing, maybe it's a different skill set, and then you get a bad review. That can really hurt you on your journey. So every time you're going to expand, remember, you're not only just trying to make more money and to give more value to the world, you're also making sure you're protecting everything that you've built along the way. So I know that was a lot. The Freelancer Roadmap to Success is just meant to give you an idea of where you should go from where you're at right now. So if you're just starting out, start at the first milestone. And if you're somewhere in the middle, figure out where you're at and then understand what you need to do next. You need to now pick a niche. Maybe you're focusing too general, or maybe you're all the way at the top still and you haven't truly committed and you know you want to do it, but you've written off a lot of things because you had a couple fallbacks or setbacks. So I hope that was helpful. If you do want to learn more about freelancing, I have the complete guide to freelancing, Zero to Mastery. It's an online course. It's super affordable on the ZTM Academy. You pay like $30 a month. You get access to their entire catalog. They have courses on a lot of things about coding. They're moving into different business topics like freelancing, SEO, web design, and so much more. So if you're encouraged to really just expand what you're doing as a freelancer, you want some help, but you also don't want to spend hundreds or thousands on some insanely overpriced course, check out the ZTM Academy. The link is in the description. And we also have a Discord server. So if you are in that course or you're planning on taking that course, join the Discord server because that is where we all support each other. We share our different experiences as freelancers, and there's different points of view in there. And that's the beautiful thing about freelancing. There's no just one right way to do it. So I hope that was helpful breaking down the Freelancer Roadmap to Success. My name is Paul Mendez with Profitable Freelancer, and until the next one, I look forward to your success. Do you want to be free? Do you want to have the freedom to be able to work when you want, where you want, and have the freedom to be your own boss and to make money for yourself? Welcome to the Complete Guide to Freelancing, Zero to Mastery. In this course, I will show you that freelancing is your ticket to this life, and I'm so excited to show you step by step how to become a successful and profitable freelancer. Studies show that freelancing is already one of the largest sectors of the economy and is continuing to see huge growth year over year. Whether you want to become a full-time freelancer or simply freelance as a side hustle to start, I'll show you that freelancing is an extremely sustainable and lucrative business. My name is Paul Mendez, and 5 years ago, I decided that I had enough of the 9-to-5 corporate grind and I wanted to live my life to the fullest on my own terms. I'm now one of the top-rated freelancers on Upwork, and I coach individuals on growing their own freelancing careers. I'm going to walk you through every step needed for you to become a profitable freelancer with explosive growth by showing you the tricks of the trade to beat out the competition and ensure you land the most exciting and highest paying freelancing jobs, all starting with setting you up and optimizing your profile on the world's largest online freelancing marketplace. And if you think you don't have the skills that companies would pay you for, I promise you, you are wrong. In this course, I'm even going to teach you how to quickly master the fastest growing skills that companies hire freelancers for all the time. This way, you can go from zero to mastery in freelancing and find your freedom. Welcome to the Complete Guide to Freelancing, Zero to Mastery, and I look forward to seeing you inside.